Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. Happy Friday. I'm Jenny Taft with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good morning. Happy Juneteenth, Skip.
Happy Independence Day to you, Shannon, and to your community, Shannon.
Thank you, thank you.
Way to go.
For those that don't know, this is the official day that the slaves were freed. Supposedly, they were freed in 1863 with the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah, but it took a while.
At the end of the war in 1865. So happy Juneteenth.
There was no social media yet,
No
right?
social media.
Yeah.
How you doing today, Skip?
I'm great.
You see what I got on, Skip? You see this right here? This that happy hour look.
I thought they were Juneteenth nuts.
Yeah, man. That's that old get 'em shape.
Really?
Get 'em shape look right here.
Really? Oh, well, good luck with that.
That's what it is. Oh, I wasn't so sure. So colorful, I don't even know.
Thank you.
Black Friday for Skip over there.
Thank you.
Skip, you briefly mentioned social media. And you know what? There were a couple things that took place yesterday.
Really?
I want to catch you guys up to speed on exactly what I'm talking about. So yesterday, we talked about KD calling Kendrick Perkins a sellout. And Skip, you made a point on the show that you later posted on Twitter saying, quote, Kevin Durant called Kendrick Perkins a sellout because for 4 years in OKC, Perk was KD's enforcer/bodyguard. KD thanked Perk in his 2014 MVP speech. Then Perk played briefly with LeBron and sold out to him. Now KD is the enemy and LeBron is beyond Jordan. Mav, Rich, Randy, Perk. Well, Perk responded to you, Skip.
Yeah.
Quote, Skip, you're wrong again. Braun and I have been friends since the 8th grade. And by the way, we played on the same AAU team in high school called the Oakland Soldiers. You haven't learned since the last time you took an L on your show and had to buy me a case of Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Skip, that is the latest, and I need to know your reaction this morning.
I will get to that case of Diet Dew in just a minute, except he wanted Diet Coke, which is like irreverent and blasphemous on this show, but here we go. I want to thank my man Kendrick Perkins for enlightening me because now I get it. Yes, as Jenny points out, I did wonder out loud on yesterday's show and then on Twitter why Kendrick Perkins so crazily defends LeBron, why he launches these personal attacks on anybody who becomes a threat to LeBron on the court, CKD, or off the court when it comes to activism, see now Kyrie. And I wondered, how did Kendrick Perkins play 4 great years with Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City as his enforcer, as his bodyguard, always had KD's back? And KD even went so far as to thank Kendrick Perkins in his 2014 MVP speech. And then Perk turned on KD, and now KD has gone so far as to call Perk a sellout. But now I have been enlightened, and now I understand because Perk didn't know this. Perk played on an AAU team with LeBron James in high school. Perk says they became very close friends in high school. Now, how a kid from Akron, LeBron, and wait a second, and a kid from Beaumont, Texas, Kendrick Perkins, played on an AAU team located in Oakland, California, the Oakland Soldiers. I love that name, the Oakland Soldiers. But how that came to pass, I can't quite figure out. Maybe they were pros before they were pros, right? Is that possible?
Yes.
So now I understand Kendrick Perkins, and I understand that he has felt all along part of LeBron's high school inner circle. See Maverick Carter, see Rich Paul, see Randy Mims. I almost said see Shannon Sharpe, but not high school. Shannon's, he came later to the inner circle, but Perk believes that he was there from the start. So that's why I tweeted, I didn't know yet about the Oakland connection, but Mav, Rich, Randy, Perk. That's what he considers himself. So now, Kendrick Perkins, thank you because all of your opinions of LeBron James are now disqualified. Yes, they're all disqualified because now you have admitted your very close bias when it comes to LeBron James. So now I will just roll my eyes every time I see on Twitter that Kendrick Perkins has tweeted, LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. Or if he's tweeted on Twitter, LeBron is the greatest athlete in NBA history. Or the next time he says, LeBron is greater than Jesus. I don't think he's gone that far, but it feels like we're getting close to LeBron is better than Jesus when it comes to Kendrick Perkins. So now it comes clear he did not betray Kevin Durant. No, this preceded that. He was close friends with LeBron in high school. So now thank you very much, Kendrick. I get it. I stand corrected. I stand enlightened. And you, my friend, are completely disqualified when it comes to talking about LeBron James. Thank you.
So he didn't betray KD. He stayed loyal to King James.
He did, on the down low, because this was unpublicized. I have never read about this. I've never heard about this, because remember, when Kendrick was playing, it seemed like he never did an interview because he did not like the media. He stayed arm's length from the media, right?
Yeah.
Had you heard this?
No.
I hadn't.
No. Well, you know what? I had started to hear it. It's like, because someone reached out to me on Twitter and said they were on the same AAU team, but I didn't see a picture. And I'm thinking the same thing you are. I'm like, hold on. LeBron's in Ohio. Perks in Texas.
Beaumont, which is way South Texas, down on the bayou.
Skip, I get it. They're both from like James Harden and Russ. Okay, even though California's a big state. Okay,
but they were in Southern California, near their communities are next door to each other.
How the hell y'all get to be AAU traveling teammates 3,000 miles away, and your team is in another state?
What is that all about? The Oakland Soldiers? And then I looked deeper last night. They're ranked all-time the 4th best AAU team ever, because there was one in New Jersey that featured Kobe and Vince Carter and Rip Hamilton. Wow, okay.
Yeah, how did that?
I don't know.
Kobe's from Philly.
Yeah.
Rip, I don't know where Rip's from, but I know Vince is from Florida. So I guess you just go pick, hey,
I don't know.
I want him, and y'all we going to be on the same team. Skip, look, see, I'm not going to let you do that. Because you told me that you got very close to Michael Jordan, and there are times that he would call you over, hey, Skip, let me talk to you. And you so now I'm going to have to look at you with a little parched lip and a little side eye.
I have never once socialized with Michael Jordan.
No.
I've not had a quote-unquote beer with him. I've not had a meal with him. I just knew him reporter to subject.
No, but he did things for you. He called you over and gave you info that he didn't give other people.
Because he respected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
thank you, Mike.
So maybe Kendrick respects LeBron. It never dawned on you that might be the case. Skip, we can't do that. We cannot, because someone is friends with someone does not mean they can't be objective. I get it, Skip. And you tried, I knew you were going to try to make this more than what it was. Skip, that was 20 years ago. Yeah, we're loyal. But I believe Perk has the ability to be objective and says, okay, LeBron didn't play well. LeBron missed this, or LeBron needs to do that.
Yep.
But he also knows what his eyes tell him. He also had played against LeBron, played with LeBron. And what he sees now, LeBron is still playing at an ultimately high level. I love the fact that Big Perk ended up apologizing to Kyrie. We're going to get into that a little later, Skip. But I'm not going to discount anything that Perk says. I get it, and that's a lot. There are a lot of people that's close with other people that do what we do in the media, that's close to these players, and you don't discount or I
know, but high school friends goes deeper.
Yeah.
It lasts. It's where you got roots together, right?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay, it went so far. That's why I went off yesterday on the show. It went so far as to have Kendrick suggest the day before that the death of an African-American, 18-year-old African-American female, the murder of this woman in Akron, LeBron's hometown, got nationally overshadowed, didn't get enough national attention because Kyrie was talking about boycotting the bubble in Orlando. And he blamed that on Kyrie. And I'm saying, Perk, you've lost it, man. That's just too much of a leap. That is not fair to Kyrie Irving.
Well, since Skip, I think they've made an arrest.
Right.
I think they have 3 suspects in custody.
Yeah.
But Skip, conspiracy theories, I don't really think, and I think the thing is that because it was getting so overshadowed, because of the George Floyd thing still continues to go on, Skip, that's really dominated the news. Now COVID-19 is back in the news because it looks like Florida is about to be the new epicenter. And now all of a sudden, basketball, we thought we was going to have basketball. Now we might not have it because there are 100 players that's like, not only is COVID a problem, we feel our voices will be muted if we go back down into the bubble.
Correct.
So,
and that's a fair stance to take right now.
Absolutely.
And Kendrick can't condemn Kyrie for that stance because part of LeBron, maybe a big part of LeBron, is his heart is with Kyrie on that.
Yes, but I think the problem that Perk had is that Kyrie, you never raised these concerns until the NBA said you couldn't go down in the bubble with your team. None of this other things came to fruition until you were told, Kyrie, you can't tag along. Then all of a sudden, he came out, well, maybe we should boycott. I think that's the biggest issue. And like I said, I don't want to speak for Perk, but I believe that's what the issue is. And Matt Barnes was kind of critical of Kyrie also. I believe those were some of the issues that they had with Kyrie. Had Kyrie voiced these concerns earlier, in the very beginning, I think people would have given some of these guys that have a problem with what he said would have said, okay, you know what, Kyrie, you make some compelling points. But it wasn't until ex post facto, after the fact he couldn't go, now it's like, well, if I can't play, I don't want anybody else to be able to play also. So I believe that's where some of the frustrations with Perk and maybe Matt Barnes came into effect with Kyrie.
Okay, so yesterday I was trying to walk back through in my head the history of Perk with KD because for 4 years, they had greatness going together. Because remember, they went to 3 conference finals.
Right.
They won one of them to get to the finals and play, obviously, LeBron and D-Wade's Heat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The baby Thunder, as I call them. And
You used to call them that to try to diminish LeBron. That's why you call them that. But they grown men.
There's some truth to that.
I know.
But it's true. but they were the baby Thunder. But remember, in KD's first finals, that first baby Thunder finals, he averaged 31 a game, and he scored 36 in game 1, which they won handily in OKC. And I thought, they're off to the races, right?
Yeah.
Until game 2, when Goat got away with fouling KD on the baseline. Do you remember? KD drives on the baseline and goes up for sort of running jumper from about 8 feet.
Oh, you ain't got the video? You ain't have to pull the video?
I don't know. I think...
No, you don't think nothing. You know you had to pull it.
It was a foul.
No,
it was a foul. LeBron hacked him on the baseline. It was a really hard shot. But because I don't know a harder shot than a running little one-hander from 8 feet on the baseline with no backboard.
You talking about like the one LeBron hit against Toronto?
The luck shot?
Yeah, you know what? He had to run.
Yeah.
He got to run and start all the way down.
But he didn't mean to backboard it, and it backboarded?
There
it is. See, that's a foul. This is a foul. He gets fooled, and he grabbed his knee and held him down. You can't do that.
No, he didn't.
It should have been 2 shots to tie the game right there. And guess what? LeBron gets the rebound, and to his credit, gets fouled.
What'd he do?
Goes to the other end. They're up 2. No huge pressure. He made both of them to ice the game. He iced the game. He didn't win the game. He iced the game.
Why you do that?
Okay, but my point is, Perk is involved then with the Thunder, so he's seeing young Kevin emerge as a superstar, as very potentially the best player on the planet. So then Perk finally gets cut by the Thunder. He bounces around, then he winds up with LeBron and plays very briefly with LeBron in Cleveland. Ended up starting only one finals game with LeBron. And guess what game it was? It was that weird game 4, 2015. LeBron had been a warrior up to that point. Remember, he had carried them on his back. No Kyrie, no Kevin Love. Remember this? And it's up 2-1 in LeBron's house. I was there, game 4. And I'm thinking, if LeBron closes this deal tonight, the deal is closed because they're going to be up 3-1. They're not going to blow that lead because remember, Golden State wasn't Golden State yet. They were all trying to figure out who they were, and they did not have Kevin Durant.
Well, I mean, they weren't Golden State, but they had just won 67 games. They were 67 and 15.
Okay, but on the biggest stage against the quote-unquote best player on the planet, they weren't sure who they were yet.
What was Steph Curry? Wasn't he the MVP?
Okay, but what happened at Oakland? They lost a game at home.
Yeah.
And Steph, as we've seen him do oftentimes, started coming up smaller and smaller in playoff games, especially at home. I'm going to get to that in just 1 second. But my point is, in that game, LeBron came up smaller than Steph Curry. And I was shocked because I thought he had him right where he wanted them. And remember what he did? He goes 7 of 22 from the field. He goes 5 of 10 from the free throw line. And they got blown off the court because Steve Kerr inserted Iggy into the starting lineup. And not only did he guard LeBron, but he scored 20 himself. and he became the MVP of the finals.
Yeah, when it started, it went back to game 3 because they were getting blown out. And then all of a sudden, they put Iggy into the lineup, and I think Steve Kerr stumbled upon that by accident. Sometimes the best things happen by accident.
Okay.
And that was an accident. And so what they did by doing that, Skip, it rendered their bigs useless. Because if you look at Mozgov, you look at Perk, Skip, they were not guys that commanded the ball. Shaq, get him Tim Duncan, get the ball, Garnett, guys that get the ball down on the block and able to do something with it. They were basically rebounders put back into the basket. So it rendered those guys useless. And so now Golden State can get up and down the court, shoot threes, and get out on
So, as we've often seen in LeBron's playoff career, he loses games 4, 5, and 6. We saw him lose 4, 5, and 6 against the Dallas Mavericks 2011 finals, 4, 5, and 6 against Boston, his last series, the first go-round in Cleveland. And now back to Perk. He did win a case of Diet Coke, not Diet Dew, because he requested Diet Coke from me. And do you remember why that happened? It was another game 4. It was last year's finals, and it was Golden State at home down 2-1. Yeah. And I will admit, I made the bet with my heart, not my head, because I was rooting against the guy who quit on my San Antonio Spurs, the guy I would not call by name, the guy I had named only number 2. And what did number 2 do that night to Golden State? I thought, there's no way Golden State's going to go down 3-1 at home.
Yep.
I'm going to say his name now because I have made peace. I've forgiven and almost forgotten. He scored 36. He had 12 rebounds. He made 5 of 9 threes, and he made 9 of 9 free throws. LeBron wouldn't be able to make 9 of 9 free throws. No, I don't think he's done that before. So the point is, they blew out Golden State because Steph Curry came up smaller than he even is at 6'3". He went 2 of 9 from 3 in a do-or-die, quote-unquote, game at home against the new LeBron, the guy who was on his way to becoming Finals MVP for a second time, Kawhi Leonard. So that's why I lost that bet. And then one final salvo I might level at my man Perk. So he did take a shot at my age yesterday on Twitter, and that's fine. I got no problem with that. But then I started thinking about Kendrick Perkins' age, and I realized last night, he's only a month and a half older than LeBron James. He's only 35 years old. He has to be the oldest-looking 35-year-old on the planet. It feels like Kendrick Perkins played with Bob Cousy in Boston. Am I right? Kendrick, what are you talking about?
I didn't know Perk. I thought Perk was a couple. But they came out.
Don't you think
they come out together?
Yes.
They came out the same
They're in the same draft.
Right.
One went first overall, and one went, I think, 27th overall, but in the first round.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So Perk. So, again, as I often do, anytime Perk wants to come work out with me, I'm happy to do that. We can lift, we can go run. We'll see if Perk can hang with me.
Putting that thing in the driveway. Yeah. Perk was in the driveway working, might be thinking about a comeback.
Really?
That's what he might be.
Is that right? He looks a few years past his comeback. That's just me.
He might be 30. Perk might be about 30, might be 32 heavy.
30 pounds too heavy?
Yeah.
He
might be 30 pounds too heavy.
So, in the end, from this point on, I will just scoff, maybe even laugh at anything that Kendrick says about LeBron James.
So
disqualified.
So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. So Kendrick Perkins is the only guy that's in the media that do what we do, that possibly have a personal relationship with a current player, that his opinion might be biased. He's the only one.
What did Kevin Durant say about those who cover LeBron James? What did he call them? Fanboys.
What did that article say about? What did the article and some of Kevin Durant's teammates say about him? It was the fact that he was not getting the praise and the adulation of LeBron James that drove him insane. What did they say about that?
He's always got 2 chips on his shoulder, right?
Yeah.
I've always said Kevin Durant's got the thinnest skin of any superstar I have ever closely observed. I give you that.
Hold on, how you gonna be mad at LeBron by the fanboy, and then he go joins the 3-ring circus, the Golden State Warriors, which was the hottest team going. He joined it, so he wanted to be a part of that. And then when he joined,
you know what? I can look at that a very different way, upside down.
How?
Not only did he join it, he rose above it. He said, "I'll go out there where everybody looks at them as a dynasty, and I will rise above their 3-headed monsters, Steph, Clay, and Draymond." Yeah. and I will become the best player by far on that team. And he was the best player by far, back-to-back finals MVPs. And with the NBA world on the edge of its seat, waiting for Kevin Durant to fall on his face in back-to-back finals, he took them over.
Well, then why didn't he take the game over when he was up 3-1 on that three-headed monster, which was Golden State? No, don't put that on Russ. Do not put that on Russ, because remember when Russ got hurt, he got swept in the playoffs then. So you can't blame. See, everything that happens bad with Kevin Durant, we seem to give him an excuse. It was Russ. Oh, it was Golden State, and they were just no. Put that on KD. KD got to own some of this now, Skip.
All I know is that a source very close to Kevin Durant told me that the reason he left Oklahoma City was he decided he could not win a championship with Russell Westbrook as his primary decision maker.
Yeah.
Russ brought the ball up the court every single time, and it was Russ's choice. Do I let him take a shot, or am I going to take another shot? And routinely, Russ took more shots per season than Kevin Durant.
Skip,
that's wrong.
I don't have a problem with KD leaving. He was a free agent. He had fulfilled his obligation to the OKC Thunder. But this notion that all of a sudden he had to go join Golden State, that was a 73-9 win team the year before. And they came back from 3-1 on KD. Skip, I don't know how that's going to look. We lose a team that just lost to somebody from the 49ers, one of their best players, just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. And then in free agency turns around and joins them. How that's going to look? Because that's what KD did. He went and joined a 73, and Steph Curry was a unanimous. He's been, of all the MVPs, he's the only one that's garnered all the first-place votes.
What anecdote do you routinely tell me on this show? That Draymond Green fled out into the parking lot after they blew the lead to LeBron and company and called KD on his cell phone and cried.
Yeah.
We need you. Please come save us. Is that not what you told me?
He did.
Okay.
That happened. And then guess what? They say, Skip Bayless, they say the very thing that he called LeBron, he turned around and had KD cried on the sideline because he called him that.
He called him the B word.
Yeah.
He did. And he blew it up, and he blew it right out of town.
Hold on.
That's what happened. He sent KD packing with that one word, that magic B word that he uttered to him on that bench at Clippers early last season. That was the beginning of the end.
How does KD get so upset about that dude from Prince George County? They hard up there. That's a D.C. bird.
Well,
He up there, come on, Skip.
That is
You let
true.
that man, you supposed to handle that. You supposed to say, Draymond, that was foul, and you need, hey, like you tell me, you point at Draymond, me, you outside.
That's true.
And we handle that.
I think Kevin is more lover than fighter. I always say that about LeBron, but I don't think Kevin or LeBron want to go out into the alley and decide it. I just don't think so.
You got to.
Yeah.
The man how you call a teammate? Skip, I get it. You get emotional. You might call somebody else that's the adversary. I get it. Happens. How you gonna call a teammate? Skip, I thought we family. Every team that you've ever heard, oh, we family. That's my brother. I love him like a brother. I spend more time. And you call, I never called my brother that.
What did I think it was your grandmother or your grandfather tell you about when people tell the absolute truth is when they're either drunk or angry?
Yep, or
Is that
kids.
right?
Yep.
Or what? Or
Kids.
Yeah.
Drunk kids are angry people.
Okay, there you go. And he was livid.
Yeah.
They had clashed over who should bring the ball up,
right.
and they sit beside each other, and he lost it just the way he did against LeBron in that pivotal Game 4.
But Skip,
Right?
that was really, when you go back and look at it, that was really nothing to get upset about. I understand KD's like, Draymond,
clapping.
give me the rock. And KD's like, hey, we will win a game before you got here.
And by the way, Draymond has often dribbled the ball up the court.
Yes.
He has often played point guard or point forward.
Yeah, he normally has a high assist total. Draymond can facilitate.
He can, no doubt.
So.
Okay, well, how's Draymond feel right now without KD?
He feel good. He got $100 million.
Is that it?
Yep. He got 3. He got
It's
defensive
all
player of the
about
year.
the Benjamins. That's it.
He got. Does he have 3 rings? He got 1 more than KD. Right?
How many finals MVPs?
He got none. And he got what? Hold on, Skip. He said he could say, I got a ring without you, KD. Can you say the same?
Well, all I got to say is, Perk, we miss you here on the show. Anytime you want to come and sit on this hot seat, you are welcome.
Get it, Perk.
Yeah, because you might look like the oldest guy on the set. I don't know.
No mercy.
Okay, guys, Colin Kaepernick has an unexpected new job. He's joining Medium's board of directors as the online publishing platform's only non-white board member. Cap will also interview high-profile leaders, activists, and athletes and write stories based on those conversations. So, Shannon, what do you think? Are you surprised by this?
I'm not really surprised, Skip, but for when I look at it, Skip, we haven't heard much from Cap over the last 3 years. There have been a couple of roundtable discussions about causes. I mean, getting Know Your Rights campaign. I think that's something that he started and thrown a lot of support and money behind. But for me, Skip, it's interesting that this is not sports. This is not football specific. And I don't think this is an indication that he's for or against returning to the NFL. So I don't want to read too much into it.
Okay.
I think this is an opportunity for him to get his message out to talk to even more high-profile people, get some activists, get some athletes that has a saying that's in his corner for the common goal in which he wants to see, and that's equality here in America. So for me, Skip, and still, we're not going to get an opportunity to hear much. He's going to be doing the interviewing. So it's not like he's going to be the interviewee. He's the interviewer.
Very good point.
So I still don't know how much we're going to be able to deduce or gather from that. But I think
they said the subject matter would be prison reform and race.
Right, right. So at the end of the day, I think now we know what Cap is doing off the field. I think the question is, does Cap still want to play? Can he still play? And will he get an opportunity? I think eventually those are going to be the subject matters that's going to have to be addressed by Cap, because you keep seeing, Skip, a lot of teams like Mark Davis says, hey, I always gave my coaches, if you want to sign him, sign him. There are a lot of other coaches say, hey, we might be willing to take a chance at him. And so until that interview happens where they sit down and they discuss football-related matters, Skip, not this, not prison reform, not what you're doing off the field, football-related matters, then and only then will I say, someone's serious. And then Cap is serious about returning to the NFL. But until then, this is an opportunity, this is a job for him, something that he's very passionate about, and I'm happy to see that he's still actively, very heavily involved in things of this subject matter.
So, for me, this is a start. It's also not a finish to his NFL potential.
Correct.
Two things can be true, says Shannon Sharpe. You can do both.
Right.
LeBron is going to do both when they go to the bubble.
Right.
He's going to be an activist, and he's going to try to win a championship.
Right.
And I don't doubt that you can juggle those two balls. Right? So, at least Cap is sticking his toe in the water of more public activism.
Correct.
And I don't know that much about Medium, so I looked on their website last night. Got their mission statement. Medium, it says, is not like any other platform on the internet. Our sole purpose is to help you find compelling ideas, knowledge, perspectives. We don't serve ads. We serve you, the curious reader who loves to learn new things. So I like that's a good connection for Cap. Right place, maybe right time. So, what has literally 2020 hindsight taught us about what Colin Kaepernick did in 2016? It took all-time guts and courage for a starting quarterback, a franchise quarterback in 2016, way ahead of this curve that we're in right now. This could be glorious curve we're in. For him to say, first, I'm going to sit for the anthem. And if that doesn't work, okay, I'll take a knee for the anthem. Because somebody desperately needs to do something to call attention to this, which is obviously unarmed black men and women being murdered by white cops. And it just kept happening again and again and again and again and again. And he finally said, enough. As a starting quarterback, he risked his livelihood, his future, and he lost it to take that knee. So as a social/racial justice warrior, he has gone down in history for what he did. It took us 4 years to sort of come to grips with, aha. It took 4 years for many outside the black community to say, aha, he was right.
This is what he was, that's it.
Okay, to move past God and country, respecting the flag, to you're trying to make a statement. It's because you're part of that flag. It's your country too. But your country is not serving you the way it serves other colors. Okay. So now we get back to what has happened over these 4 years. And I've told you oftentimes on the show, and I'm going to voice it again. My frustration is I haven't heard enough from Colin Kaepernick. When I when I had the privilege of hearing him in 2016 after football games, he wasn't just a good speaker. He was a compelling, riveting speaker to my ear. I was captivated because he was enlightening with an edge. He had an edge to his voice. He had a raw, real anger in his voice, but he spoke from a base of deep knowledge and comprehension and feel for what he was talking about, to the point that I was hooked on listening to him speak. And I thought, here we go. We have an activist for the ages. He has the gift of gab. You have the gift of gab. It's something you can't be taught or coached. You're born with it or you're not born with it. Trust me, I've been in this business for so long. I know people can talk or they can't talk. They can communicate or they can't. Some of the greatest athletes we've ever had, some of the biggest superstars, sit in that chair and they can't communicate it. They can see it, but they can't speak it. Colin could speak it. So I've been frustrated to the point of hurting over, here was a leader for the time. He's obviously become the face of the movement in utter silence. He does tweet occasionally. The one thing I don't love about tweets, they're like texts. They can be misunderstood. They can be a little murky, a little hazy. You mean what? About what? What? You know how it happens. You can get in trouble on Twitter because you tweet one line and everybody says, how can you say that? Well, that's not exactly what I was saying. I really meant this. Well, if you have only X number of characters or you don't even use the allotment, if you just fire off one sentence, it can be misread, misunderstood, mistaken.
That is correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so I would love to hear Colin speak. Do interview sessions, or at least do interviews, one-on-one interviews. He's done next to nothing except for his Nike ads, and they're great, but it's not real, pure, raw Colin Kaepernick, right? So I've tried to read between the lines of what's happened here. I do think, to a fault, we sort of looked at him as, are you the new Dr. King? Well, that's not fair. I can't put him on that pedestal. You want to talk about the all-time gift of gab? He was Dr. Martin Luther King. He was a minister by trade.
Yes, he's one of the great orators in
one of the great orators in the history of the world. Where if just pull up a clip right now and you won't be able to stop. You're mesmerized by it. So to compare Colin Kaepernick to Dr. King is not fair. I'm not saying he's that. Maybe in his own way, in his own style, he could grow into that, but he has opted to remain mostly silent. His mystique has grown in his silence, and maybe that was the game plan. I don't know. Is it better to say nothing and let your aura grow? Maybe. But does that help the movement whose time has come? Not really. Yeah,
I agree with you on that one, Skip. I think the thing was that in the beginning when Cap told you what he was doing, you didn't like what he was doing, so Skip, you made it about, and still, there are some said, well, it's the flag and it's the anthem. It's kind of like when the people were taken to the streets, you didn't talk about what they were taken to the streets for. You talked about the looting. You talked about the rioting. So now you missed the whole purpose. Okay, the cause and effect. What caused Colin Kaepernick to originally take a seat and then take a knee at the behest of Nate Boyer, who is a Green Beret, says, hey, taking a seat is going to be perceived as bad. How about take a knee and show a sign of respect towards the flag?
No, by the way, Nate Boyer is white.
For
the record, yes.
Green Beret. I think he went to the University of Texas, Skip.
Don't remember that, but
that's what he suggested. Who is a veteran, suggested that Cap took a knee. So he took the knee, told you why he was taking the knee, but because you didn't want to hear what he was talking about, you said it was the flag and he's disrespecting the anthem. Okay, like the protesters, Skip, they're in the street. And you see, and you don't want to talk about that where they're looting and they're rioting.
And obviously, our president and some of our NFL owners set that tone that you're talking about.
That is correct, because that was an issue, Skip. I don't really want to touch that. Because, see, Skip, where I am, I'm in a bubble. It's 72 and sunny. It don't get chaotic over here where I'm at. And that's not coming to my neighborhood. And it's not anyone that I know, Skip, or I have blood affiliation with, or someone that I'm really, really close to. They're not gonna suffer at the hands of that.
Yep.
So it's hard to get attached to something, Skip, where you don't feel you have a personal connection. You know, Skip, for me, when I watch these the ASPCA come on television, I already know I just go on and get my checkbook. You know, Skip, because they start showing me these dogs and the shaking and the cat.
I got it.
There goes my money. And next thing you know, I got a bunch of labels coming in a T-shirt. That happens everything because I got a personal connection.
Yeah.
I love animals.
You and Ernestine both. She comes to me every other night and says, do you think I just saw this poor little puppy?
63 cents a day, and 63 cents turns into $20 a month. But anyway, Skip, and so that's what happens. And so you don't have the personal connection to that. But for me, Skip, his presence is becoming bigger. And so now maybe even though he won't be the interviewee, you will hear his voice. You'll hear other people's voices on this. And so now maybe it will even get a bigger supporting audience. So I'm happy.
See, the irony is, if, let's just say, for sake of argument, you have Colin Kaepernick interviewing Bill Russell.
Right.
Well, I also want to hear Bill Russell ask Colin Kaepernick some questions.
Yes.
I want a two-way street there.
Yes.
Because they're both historical figures to me.
Yes.
And Colin, it says, is going to, on Medium, is going to do some long-form sort of magazine-style writing.
Right.
Great. There's nothing like speaking directly to the masses.
Right.
And at some point, he's so capable of doing that. If I didn't think so, I'd say, well...
Skip, the writing is great because Dr. King wrote some of the great things, but a lot of his stuff that he spoke was ad-lib. If you look at a lot of his stuff, Skip, it was ad-lib. He wrote one thing and he spoke something different.
Was I Have a Dream ad-lib?
Yes, a lot of it was ad-lib. And so when you start looking at it, Skip, there's something about voice. I mean, you're reading it, but how do you read it in his voice? How do you hear the passion in which he's given said speech? Or you hear Mandela when he spoke? Or you hear some of these great orators, Churchill, JFK. Yeah. When you hear them speak as opposed to reading their writing, it hits different. So I believe if we were to hear Cap speak, although he can write it in long form and we can read it for ourselves, if we were to hear him speak it, there's something about spoken word as opposed to read word.
No mercy. Juneteenth is the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery in the U.S. And new cowboy Gerald McCoy went on Instagram Live to discuss his support for making Juneteenth an official national holiday. He also brought up how his current team and owner, Jerry Jones, can help in the movement for racial equality and that he wants to hear from Jones, adding, quote, "Will that get me in trouble saying that? I don't know, but the truth is it needs to be said." So, Shannon, would you like to see a statement from Jerry or a press conference?
No. I've heard everything I need to hear from Jerry, which was nothing. That's it.
Yep. Well,
so anything that he says,
not Skip,
I mean, come on, let's be real. And I told Skip, I told you at the time, I said, Skip, that was a photo op. I'm saying, if you think Jerry Jones feels some type of way about this movement, he does not. He's unmoved. He's doing this to try to show his team, and they bought it. I give him credit. They bought it. He did a great job.
Talking about the
when he locked on and took it.
2017.
Yes.
Monday Night Football, September 25th.
Yes.
Yep.
And he took that knee and, they bought it.
Remember, they were conflicted in the locker room, and he went in maybe 10 minutes before kickoff and said, I got the solution. Let's all step inside the out-of-bounds line.
Right.
Go 10 yards in and kneel together, arms locked. Right. I'll bring my family out there. He brought everybody.
Everybody.
Stephen, Jerry, Charlotte.
Jerry Jr.
Yeah.
It was a photo op. So now, whatever he says, Skip, it's not going to be authentic. It's like, now Juneteenth is a holiday, paid holiday. Skip, if you didn't know better, I was just thinking, I was laying down last night, I was thinking. I said, if you didn't know better, America had a Christopher Columbus moment. They discovered they got black people. And all of a sudden say, you know what? Let's get them a day that they can actually get off. Like we celebrate the 4th, everybody get that off and get paid. Let's give them a day. Like they just discovered that 155 years after the fact. I'm like, wow, what a novel idea. And then I started thinking, maybe we get Frederick Douglass get a day, maybe we can Rosa Parks, maybe we get a couple more days, Skip, get paid holiday, you know what I'm saying? But Skip, look, Jerry's where he is. Jerry can't say anything now. There's nothing Jerry can say that can convince the black community that he gives a damn about this issue, Skip. There's nothing he can say. It's over with. That time has passed. He had an opportunity. and he released some ticky-tack statement where he didn't release a statement, Skip. You remember when he said to Dallas Cowboys, this is his playpen, and that you're going to toe the line, left helmet, a helmet in your left arm, hand over your heart, or you won't be playing for the Cowboys?
Correct.
So he let you know where he stood.
Yep.
There's nothing he can say. That's why he hadn't said anything. Because like you said, Skip, Jerry is going to tell the truth now. So he can't get up there and fake it. That's why he released that statement. See, Skip, you can release a statement and say anything. But when you speak, if you're uncomfortable or you start to look left and you start to look right, people are like, oh, he bull jiving. And Jerry doesn't want that. Jerry's not going to say anything. So his silence has spoken more than his words ever could. I'm good. Gerald McCoy is right. And I said, and Gerald McCoy, you might get a little trouble, but you're absolutely right. Jerry should speak. He's not. But I don't really know what he can say, Skip. After 3 weeks, what could he say that could convince you that he cares about this cause? Absolutely nothing.
So before I comment on everything you just said, allow me to comment and to congratulate Gerald McCoy. This was groundbreaking for me. And, you know, I'm a longtime Cowboy observer. He just got there. He's been in this league for 11 years. He has made 6 Pro Bowls. He was the leader of the Buccaneers, and I think he became a leader in Carolina.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, he made a move that was unprecedented within the confines of Jerry Jones' franchise.
Correct.
We've had one player after another take on Jerry over their contract, but nobody has ever dared to take on Jerry Jones publicly over club policy. This is policy he's talking about.
Yep.
This is Gerald McCoy saying it would be great to hear a statement from Jerry Jones in support of everything that's going on. Will that get me in trouble for saying that? I don't know. But the truth is, it needs to be said. Boom. True.
True.
Okay. So I was proud of him. We've had him on the show. We know him. We like him. He played at the University of Oklahoma. I think he grew up a Cowboy fan in Oklahoma City. So he has a feeling for the history of this franchise, certainly under Jerry Jones. And for him to dare to make that statement publicly, it took some guts and it took some stature. Yeah. He has stature in the league. He is highly respected as a veteran star football player. He's 32 years of age. I don't know. I hope he's not on the downside of his career. They got him for reasonable money.
Right.
But Shannon, it dawned on me, this current Cowboy team, I'm not sure it's top-heavy with veteran leadership.
Right.
As much as I love Dak Prescott, he's not a vocal leader. I believe he leads by deed, and I believe that what he says in the confines of the locker room goes when Dak speaks.
I agree.
But he does not speak that much publicly.
Right.
He doesn't take big public stands for or against.
Correct.
He's pretty non-committal publicly. And when I look at the defense, which struggled last year mightily, you know, Jalen Smith has leadership potential. Maybe DeMarcus does a little bit, but after that, I'm not sure.
Right.
This man is a leader, like a born leader.
Yes.
He was the leader at the University of Oklahoma, and now maybe he's transferred that leadership into the Cowboy locker room because that was a leadership statement.
Of course.
That took some nerve to do that.
Skip, he said what needed to be said, but everybody else on Jerry was afraid to. And I think the thing is because he came from the outside, he just got there, he's unafraid of Jerry.
Yep.
See, everybody else has been there, Skip, so they know how Jerry is.
No, it's a weird dynamic because they all know that they can go over the coach's head to Jerry's office and cry to him, Daddy Jerry, please fix this, right?
Yes.
But in the end, they're afraid of him.
Yes.
Because the buck stops on his desk.
And Skip, you read what he said. He said it would be nice if he issued a statement to support the issue or cause. Why do you think he has it, Skip? Nobody is, if this is an issue, Skip, that you don't support, people are not going to vote on it. People are not going to protest for it. People are not going to speak on issues that they don't care about. I don't really know what else to say, Skip.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. Let's not make it overly complicated.
So one quick point before I go to what you're saying. Remember, all these players know the history of Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson. He fired Jimmy Johnson after winning 2 Super Bowls.
Yes.
Jimmy won 2 in a row.
Right.
And he said, hit the streets?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's like, he's a crazy you-know-what.
Right.
And he's liable, when he loses a temper, he's liable to do anything. That's why there's some fear factor of Jerry within the franchise. Now, to your point, do I really want to see Jerry make some video, some silly, awkward video in which a grinning Jerry Jones says, I love me some Black Lives Matter. You know, like, come on.
No.
You would scoff at it.
Yes.
You would laugh at it.
Yeah.
You would dismiss it. You might even be offended by it,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So Jerry is, in this case, damned if he does or doesn't, because this just isn't his lane, man. I've told you before, I spent so many hours around this man for the 3 books I wrote on the Cowboys. I never once heard any suggestion come out of his mouth that he's racist by nature.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe he's a racist, but I do know for sure he is a capitalist.
Right.
That's what he is.
Right. And if I can capitalize off of racism, so be it.
It just, his capitalism just, it transcends everything in his life, where he doesn't care about Black Lives Matter, whatever cause it is. Is it going to affect his bottom line? Well, it could, but in the big picture, not really.
Right.
It's just leave me alone. I got
Correct.
I got bigger fish to fry over here. I'm trying to win some football games. More important, I'm trying to make billions of dollars.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I want a second yacht. Whatever. It's just, it's the way Jerry grew up thinking. They didn't have a lot of money when he was a kid. He made it the hard way in the oil fields. He plunged. He lost everything. He plunged. He struck it rich. That's all he cares about. So is he friends with his black stars? No, not really. Does he sort of take them under his wing? Sure he does.
Yeah.
But it's because they can help him win championships.
It's simple.
Simple as that.
If you look at the 3, Skip, when we look at it, we look at the 3 guys that the black guys that he's most comfortable, that he's closest to. Michael Irvin, Dez Bryant, Zeke Elliott. What's the common denominator, Skip?
They're really good.
What is another common denominator, Skip? At some point in time, they needed Jerry Jones' assistance. Am I correct, Skip?
Oh, off the field?
Yes! You see the common denominator?
That's a very good point.
You ain't see him hugging hands and holding hands with Emmett or Deion Sanders?
Nope. Or Dak.
Yeah! So you see the theme here. So this notion, well, what about how close he was with Michael and how close he was? They needed him.
Yeah.
And
you're talking about getting them out of off-field scrapes and
Skip, I needed Michael on Sunday. I need Dez and Zeke on Sunday.
Yep.
So I can't have them going through that stuff during the week. That's why he fought so hard. Oh, this guy didn't do it. You're going to get us thrown, told Lisa Friel, you're going to get us thrown out of here on our heads if you keep this going. Skip, he needed Zeke. I ain't got no problem with it. But don't try to make it seem like you really care about him. You care about the bottom line, like you said. Money. Zeke can make me money. I win. I'm on TV. I go to the playoffs, yada, yada, yada. So I don't want to hear from, actually, Skip, I'm good. I've heard everything that I needed to hear from Jerry, which is nothing. I've seen everything that I needed to see from Jerry, which was nothing. So I'm good. I'm good. I know where Jerry stands, and that's all I need, Skip. All I need to know is where you stand. Just don't fool me, because I'm like, man, does he? Does he not? I know. Skip, I can deal with anything. If you just tell me, Skip, if you say, oh, Shannon, we're going to do this. If you just say, Shannon, I'm going to do it, I'm good. But don't say, well, Shannon, we're going to do it, and then here it is 2 hours later, man, I forgot. Just tell me you didn't want to do it, and we'd have been cool.
Yep.
Now you got me all fired up thinking we're going to do something, and you ain't even sure talking about you forgot. I know where Jerry stands. I'm good with it. I can live with it.
So obviously, Jerry's silence has been disturbing only because, wait a second, he's the only owner with his own radio show, and he is the only owner who speaks to the media in the locker room after every game without fail.
Right.
Unless they've had a horrible loss and he ducks, right? But almost every Sunday, he speaks to the media. No owner in the history of the league, am I missing? Nope. No owner has ever spoken to the media as much as Jerry Jones, except for this. No. And now the silence is ear-splitting, right?
Yeah, Skip, if you feel comfortable saying he's the most powerful owner in sports, regardless of sport?
Unless you want to make a case for Mr. Kraft.
But Mr. Kraft is not as vocal. They're close. They're very close, Skip. I mean, because Roger, you know, he bounces things up, you know. One's in the Northeast and the other's in the South, way. So, you know, those guys carry a lot of weight. Yeah. But Jerry is more vocal.
He is. So it's either 1-2 or 2-1, but it's close.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Okay, I got it. But I believe that in the end, the Cowboy PR department and maybe even his son, Steven, they're just saying, we can't put him out there to do a Q&A with the media, like a big media session on this. I'm not sure what Jerry, I don't know if he is capable of handling that on this matter.
But I mean, a lot of people happy they got paid holiday. They got Juneteenth as a paid holiday. I don't know how many people actually knew what Juneteenth was, but hey, we'll take it.
No mercy. The NFL's chief medical officer has responded to Dr. Anthony Fauci's concerns and suggestion that the league keep its players in a bubble. Dr. Alan Sills acknowledged the league knows it is a tough task and is working on a rapid result testing program. So, Shannon, in your opinion, does the NFL also need to operate in a bubble?
It's not feasible. It's virtually impossible, Skip. Because you have to understand, on some teams, Skip, there are as many coaches as there are NBA players on the roster. So if I'm just being conservative, Skip, if you're just talking about position coach and OC and DC, you're at 10 right there. Okay. Because every position has a coach. And then you have the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, and they normally have 2 assistants per side. So you're talking about 14, 15 guys with the head coach. That's just coaches. Okay, you're talking about a 46-man roster plus now 12 practice squad guys. Mm-hmm. How?
For 5 months?
For 5 months, Skip, with 32. So unless you're going to say, hold on, I don't know if you're going to make Cincinnati, you're not going to make the playoffs. This team, because you know what the NBA do is, Skip. Yeah. They took the playoff teams and the teams that are within 3-4 games.
Yeah.
So
they took 22 of 30.
So what did the NBA, NFL going to do? Take 16 of 32? Say the rest of y'all weren't going to make it anyway and bring them down. So if you were to take the same amount of people that the NBA is taking down for an NFL, Skip, you're talking about 6 teams. That's it. I don't know how it's possible that you can put that many people, 32 teams, with all those, with that entire roster, Skip, in a bubble. What place? You need a city, an entire city to be uninhabited, and then you move in, and that's it. Y'all the only ones there. And then what are you going to do with games, Skip? Okay, you got 16 games in the course of a week. Are you going to play 2 to 3 games a day? Because that's what it's going to take, Skip, to fulfill the obligation. I don't know how you do this, Skip, under the circumstances. And you look at Florida. Skip, Florida looks like it's becoming the new epicenter. They got 3 teams in Florida. Texas is rising. Carolina is rising. Texas got 2 teams. I don't know how they pulled this off. And I think what's going to happen, Skip, it's basically you just throwing caution to the wind. Is that, look, it's going to happen because you see the University of Texas had, 10 players get it. They did. You see these NFL players.
Well, the Texans had an outbreak, and the Cowboys had a little outbreak, and now I heard Tampa had an assistant coach test positive.
Skip, I'm going to be honest, Skip. I don't know how they're going to do it. I think the NFL is going to play. They're probably not going to have fans.
Yeah.
But, Skip, I don't know how. You can't pull damn near 3,000 people off in a bubble. I just don't know how you do it, Skip. And then you got to have that's just, Skip, that's just the players and the coaches. What about the training staff? You got to have them. What about the team doctors? I don't know how you, Skip, I will be honest. I don't know how, if the NFL can pull this off, but I don't think they can do it in a bubble. They just got to say, guys, and you're going to have to allow them to have expanded rosters, because can you imagine if Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady came down with this thing on a Thursday or Friday? You got to have the ability to just to go grab people, Skip.
Yep. So I'll be the first to admit the words from Dr. Fauci were like fingernails on my chalkboard, because I didn't want to hear it.
No.
Because I want it to be back so badly. And just when I think it's okay, it's not okay.
No.
And the good doctor says, unless players are essentially in a bubble, it would be very hard to see how football is able to be played this fall. That's quote unquote. If there is a second wave, which is certainly a possibility, and which would be complicated by the predictable flu season as the weather changes and gets colder, football may not happen this year, says Dr. Fauci.
Man, come on, Doc. Dr.
Come on.
Grim Reaper.
You were talking about a buzzkill.
Yeah, he don't give you no real hope.
Wow. Come on. Give us a little glimmer of hope, a little tiny light at the end of the tunnel. You know, give me an if you. There's no ifs in this. It's like it just doesn't sound good. So as Jenny pointed out, the chief medical officer of the league of the NFL, Dr. Alan Sills, responded, "We are considering a bubble." What? But as Shannon Sharpe just said, how? Well, it's nice to hear you're considering it. It's kind of on your back burner, but it's impossible. You would need a bubble bigger than the state of Texas to pull this off. I've tried to figure out last night, could you do regional bubbles? Could you do divisional bubbles? Well, this league plays each other from coast to coast.
Right.
You can't have a bubble. How many football stadiums are in a bubble? It's okay at the wide world of sports at Disney World in Orlando. You got multiple basketball courts because they're contained, they're smaller, so you can get away with it in confined space.
Right.
You can have a captive audience. But how many football fields can you put into a bubble where they already exist? Well, you'd have to build the bubble.
And the thing is, Skip, okay, they taking 22 teams. They say you can have a max of 35 people. So you're looking at what? 600, 650, maybe 700 tops.
And you would expand it to guests after one round of the playoffs.
Right.
Then each team could have up to 17 guest rooms, so each player could get a guest room.
Right.
But once you brought those folks into the bubble, they can't leave the bubble either.
So you got 27. This is a rough estimate. If you just do 85 times 32, that's 2,720 people, Skip. That's with no family.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine if one person brought one guest. So what bubble?
Okay, and remember, the NBA's is going to be a sprint to the finish line.
2 months.
2 months, max. Some teams much shorter than that.
Some might be a week or two.
But the NFL season goes for 5 months. Well, you can't confine a captive audience into a bubble for 5 months with those kind of numbers involved.
No, hold on. There are some players that are mad or have significant others, and they have 2, 3 kids. They're like, you're not going to leave me here with all these kids by myself. No, Skip, look, just go ahead and say, we're going to play. We're going to test every day. We're going to do everything we possibly can to make it as safe as we possibly can. Man. But you're not putting this many people in a bubble. That's not happening. It's theoretically impossible.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Skip, and what the thing is with the NBA is that, okay, you're in. Everybody's in. These players are going home. They're going home at night. They're going to go to the grocery store. They're going to go out and about. They're going to go do other things. So you test the guy, and he might be clean one day. You test him 2 days later, and then boom, because he's come in contact with somebody. Man, but Dr. Fauci, man, I mean, you be listening, you be wanting to hear what he got to say, but you be like, yeah, man, we ain't gonna ever get back to normalcy. I mean, the likelihood of us, what normal used to be, that probably not gonna happen again, Skip. But I'm trying to think, what is the new normal going to look like? Because it seems like we keep finding new normals. Mm-hmm. I just don't see how they do it, Skip. The bubble, forget the bubble. You're not putting 3,000 people in a bubble, Skip. Mm. You're not.
So to me, and I'm out of my league and lane here, but just knowing what happens inside my life and what's happened here in California, it seems like every state or place that reopens
or reopen early.
Too early, then everybody says, it's summertime. I'm free. Let's go out and party. Let's take our mask off. Who needs a mask? Mm-hmm. It was all overrated to start with. It was all exaggerated to start with. And boom, boom, boom. We have outbreak. You know, we got spike across the country because everybody quit observing the rules. Right. And it probably didn't.
It was a hoax. Yeah. They're trying to put fear. Right. You know, it's an election cycle, and they're trying to do this to scare everybody. Okay. Because there are some states, Skip, that the testing is going down, but the numbers are rising. Mm.
So maybe we're going to have a new correction where everybody realizes we got to go back to the old way. Not to be quarantined at home, but you just got to go back to being more careful. You're going to have to put your mask back on.
My liberty, Skip, you're infringing on my liberties. Okay. I don't want to wear it. and I shouldn't have to. It's not about you. I want to be able to do what I want to do. So if I infect you, so be it. That's how people thinking, Skip.
Yeah,
They're not thinking about everybody else. They're not thinking about, me, and plus, what do we see? If we see the most powerful, and he don't wear one, or nobody around him wears one, or nobody on that side wears one, well, that's my thing. I ride with him.
And if he says we're winning against the virus,
it's going to disappear.
Yeah.
It's Skip. I don't know, Skip. I want Skip. Hey, we want live sports, live team sports, American team sports. I mean, they're playing Korean baseball and they're playing soccer, but we want to see the Skip. I don't know how
they're playing golf.
Right, they're playing golf.
It's a non-contact sport.
Right.
And football is the ultimate contact sport.
And how you play it with a mask? You have guys passing out, Skip. It's already hard enough to breathe with that helmet and shoulder pads on. Can you imagine trying to play with a face cover?
Well, you got to have some kind of shield on. You're just going to have to. And look, here's my hope. This league, the National Football League, is run by extremely smart people who are usually ahead of the curve.
Right.
So surely they have already calculated how to defeat this the best ways possible. And so if the protocols, the rules for every team are so severe, maybe they have a chance. If everybody lives in utter severe caution, where again, they're not going to have a bubble. They go home, like you say, so you're going to have risk. But if they go home safely and cautiously, maybe we can get through an NFL season.
All the players had to do was wait another 2 months.
Yeah.
And I'd have held out. And guess what that CBA would have looked like? It'd have looked a lot different. I ain't going back to play. That's what y'all going to do, Skip.
Well, that ship sailed a long time ago.
Skip, I'd have waited them out. I said, okay, COVID, hey, I ain't going back. It's too dangerous for me.
Okay.
But this is what we going to want if we were to come back and play. I'm going to need no franchise tag. I'm going to need the ability, hey, no more designation. Oh, contract up. All that. I want all that stuff.
So you could have gone baseball on football, right?
You see what baseball did? It's funny how they wanted baseball players to take 50% and 60% of prorated salary. Baseball players say, no. Football players would have taken it. Baseball said, no, we're going to get 100% of prorated salaries based on the amount of games that we play. And they said, okay.
Okay.
I hadn't thought of it that way. I mean, we're all out of our league in this one, but I know selfishly we want sports. We love it. Well, look at us. This is what we do. This is what keeps us going. So we just hope everyone can be, healthy in the end. And Shannon, if you could get me one of your designer masks, really appreciate that. Really help the look. I'm trying to go
I got one.
Yeah, if you could share one for us, that'd be nice.
I got too many masks.
No mercy. This weekend, NASCAR returns to Talladega. Tomorrow, it's Xfinity Series racing at 5:30 Eastern on FS1. Then Sunday on Fox, catch the Geico 500 at 3 Eastern. Both races are also on the Fox Sports app. Could the Eagles be the team to bring Colin Kaepernick back to the NFL? Doug Pederson isn't ruling out the idea, saying, quote, it's not out of the realm of possibility that could happen. And given Carson Wentz's injury history, Shannon, can you see the Eagles signing Cap?
No, but that seems to be there are a lot of compliments going around now that the climate's changed. Skip, you notice that? I ain't hear all these compliments in 2017, 18, and 19.
No.
Now that the climate has changed, we can see bringing a guy in. Skip, because remember, you wasn't really wanting to bring a guy in that didn't have the skill set of your starting quarterback, have to teach him an entirely different offense. And then he's going to be on the sideline, so how soon could he come in and actually help?
Yep.
Now, all of a sudden, the momentum has swung and Cap was right all along. I can see a situation where he comes in and, he learns. And until I see Cap come in for a workout and they talk football, Cap throws the football.
Yep.
And he gets up on the chalkboard and he writes stuff down and says, okay, this is what I'm seeing. You tell me the progression. This is what I'm thinking as a progression. And you tell me the progression that you think I should be going through.
Yep.
Until that happens, Skip, all this is just talking. This is everybody trying to make, man, they're going to sign Cap, they're going to sign Cap. We've heard this before. We've seen this song and dance so many times before. So for me, I look at it last year. Nick Suffield got hurt. They took a 40-year-old out of retirement.
Josh McCown.
40.
Yep.
Cap was 31. Just turned 31.
Yep.
We ain't want him dead. Man, Cap, Man, if Cap stay out another couple of years, he might go to the Hall of Fame because it seems that the more he stays away, the better he gets. Because they didn't want him in 2017, 18, and 19 after he had just saw him play.
No.
But he's looking real good. He's looking real appealing right now, Skip.
He does.
Man.
So,
but I will say this, Skip. They were one of the teams that when Cap moved the workout from Flowery Branch down to South Atlanta, the Eagles were one of the teams that did send a representative down there to watch him work out. But, Skip, I don't believe it. I believe everybody's just saying all the right things, getting people hopes up high. But I hope Cap ain't sitting around getting his hope up high because they've done this before. Everybody, Pete Carroll, I made a mistake. I should have signed him, Skip. Should have signed him, had him in there, but we didn't.
So are you starting to get the feeling there was some secret internal memo sent out to every team? Every chance you get, say you're interested in Colin Kaepernick so that we can appease the masses.
Yep.
We can placate all the people who are demanding justice, demanding Colin Kaepernick gets a job in the National Football League as he deserved from the start.
Right.
Because to your point, Pete Carroll not only says, I messed up. We should have signed him when we had the chance. But he said, a team called me and said they're very interested.
Yeah.
Really? Which team? I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
Then your friend Anthony Lynn, the man you played with, now coaching the Chargers, he says, teams are crazy if they don't put Colin Kaepernick on the workout list. Workout list? I've never heard of a workout list. What does that mean?
Is he on your workout list?
No. He said, we're set at quarterback. You are? Really? With Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert and what? Okay, help me out here. So Philly, all of a sudden, out of the blue, Doug Pederson says it's not out of the realm of possibility that it could happen. You buying it? I'm probably not, but there are two sides to this coin.
Okay.
And here's the other side to this coin. If you're Carson Wentz right now, what are you thinking? Are you sitting back saying, when am I ever going to get a break? Because my coach and my GM seem constantly in the quarterback market when I thought I was pretty good. I thought I closed out the season with a flourish last year, right? I thought I reestablished myself as the unquestioned starting quarterback going forward for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they keep saying, not so fast. Right?
Yeah, they're quarterback. Skip, they love to produce quarterbacks.
They say they're a quarterback factory.
Skip, I get it. You know, colleges say that. You know, Penn State used to be linebacker U. And USC was running back U. And, you know, now LSU say they're DBU. Skip, I get that.
I think Florida State.
With time and somebody was getting into it.
Curl Marty.
Yeah. Skip, I get that.
Yeah.
But Skip, how are you a factory? You're an NFL team. Your job is not to get quarterbacks ready to go out and play quarterback somewhere else. You got Nick Foles? Did you see what Nick Foles did when he went outside, when he played anywhere else? Be it the Rams, I don't think he played much in Kansas City. Skip, we saw him in Jacksonville. That ain't no factory. Y'all not a factory. You had a quarterback that played well for a stretch of games. You have a quarterback now that I thought you thought was a franchise guy, but clearly what I thought and what you guys think and what you guys see are something entirely different. Because you went and got a quarterback in the second round, and now you're talking about signing another quarterback that his skill set is more like the guy that you took in the second round than the guy that you took in the first round 3 years ago.
Very interesting.
I'm confused.
So, what was the biggest shock of the NFL draft? Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
That was a big... What? Jalen Hurts?
And you traded up to get him.
You did. And I told you before the draft, Jalen Hurts is not a running back. He's obviously not a receiver.
So did they trade up?
No, they didn't.
They did.
But
Green Bay traded.
Jordan Love. Yeah, but it's okay. But it's still second round. What?
After you just gave him $110 million.
The year before. Okay. So I told you, going into the draft, Jalen Hurts is a starting quarterback in the National Football League. And they love him. And we've already heard and read, we got packages ready here for Jalen Hurts. He's going to get 8-10 snaps. He's going to get the Lamar Jackson treatment that Lamar got his rookie year for Flacco when he was in the game quite a bit. Until finally he just took the job over. And it almost led you to believe, well, is Jalen going to just take the job over? Okay, so now we're back to, and by the way, they did give just now $2 million to Nate Sudfeld. They like him. And I looked at his numbers last night. He hasn't played much, but he's been pretty good. He was 20 of 25 for 156, a touchdown, no interceptions. He's only 26 years of age, out of Indiana, and they really like him as a developmental quarterback factory quarterback, right? Okay, so now you're 3 deep, and yet number 1 on the depth chart in his playoff career right now, Carson Wentz is 1 of 4 for a grand total of 3 yards because he got concussed early in the Seattle home playoff game, which Josh McCown then took over and played the rest of the way, and they lost, obviously. So that's all Carson Wentz has to show. You love Carson Wentz. I've never been completely
fully on board.
No, I'm not bought in.
Right.
I just don't see enough feel for the game. I'm not sure about him, and I'm definitely not sure about his ability to stay healthy because it's been one thing after another, as you well know. So all of a sudden you start to think, well, are they really not satisfied with him to the point that they're looking sooner than later to replace him? Okay, if that's their mindset right now, then Colin Kaepernick does make sense here. Because if you're not bought completely in to Carson Wentz, hey, listen, Colin Kaepernick would be a hit in Philadelphia.
But Skip, I'm trying to figure out, Skip, if you didn't think he was good in 2017, how the hell you think he's gotten better by not doing what he was supposed to be doing in 3 years? How does someone get better by not doing something for a 3-year span? How?
I don't know. It's just what your eye test is telling you. Pederson and Howie Roseman, are they convinced that Carson Wentz is a 10-year quarterback for them? Because if they're not, maybe they're showing you.
Hell, they don't think he's a 10-month quarterback taking Jalen Hurts in the second round.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So maybe they're saying we've positioned Jalen Hurts sooner than later to get a shot to win the job. And if that's what you're doing right now, then Colin Kaepernick would make a lot more sense than Nate Sudfeld would, right? Okay. So what happened when Michael Vick came to Philadelphia?
Right.
Man, I loved it.
Right.
He took the town by storm. Remember? Andy Reid took the shot, and remember that Monday night?
You remember
game?
last year when they asked Doug Pederson, did he consider Cap? And he gave a pretty short answer. It was pretty. We consider everybody, honestly. We consider everybody. We do what's best for the Eagles. In other words, no, we did not. That's why we went and got a 40-year-old that had retired and was coaching. That's how much we considered it. We went and got a 40-year-old. We got the guy that was 9 years older than Cap. Now, all of a sudden, I'm shocked. I'm baffled at how many teams are heaping praise on Cap now when we couldn't find out one team that would utter those flattering words for 3 straight years that was willing to give him an opportunity. Now, he hadn't gotten the opportunity yet, but it seems like they're thawing, as the term you use, thawing to the idea of maybe bringing him in. So that's what it took.
You got me?
Man,
I don't know.
They need to stop with this, Skip. Either the man was good enough then or he wasn't.
Okay.
The momentum should have nothing to do with his playing ability.
All right.
Just like it shouldn't have affected his playing ability. You shouldn't say, well, because he did that, he can't play. And just because now, well, he was right, he can play.
Okay. And I reiterate, either Carson Wentz is good enough or he's not.
Correct.
Philadelphia.
Yes.
What you got?
I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen someone give a guy that kind of money and then turn around and get a new quarterback. It's kind of like what Detroit was doing, Skip. Remember, they was taking like wide receiver after wide receiver. They took Charles Rogers, rest his soul. Then they took Roy Williams, and then they took Calvin Johnson. I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? Either the guys you have are good enough or they're not. Either Carson Wentz is good enough or he's not. So maybe you need to get a new director because he's picking the wrong quarterback, and you got to take quarterback after quarterback after quarterback.
Good point.
I'm confused by this.
I got to imagine Carson Wentz playing under that, knowing everyone in the talk. That's hard for him. It's been hard for him for a while, guys. Tom Brady, though, he's counting down the days to his Week 1 matchup with the Saints. I think I see a smile there from Skip. Smile.
I'm over this already.
Shannon over there. All right.
No mercy.
Friday Night SmackDown is all new every week on Fox. Tonight, newly crowned Intercontinental Champion AJ Styles celebrates his win, and we'll find out who his first opponent will be. SmackDown tonight, 8, 7 Central on Fox. So Tom Brady took to Instagram to show off some photos of him on the practice field. Looking good. He even posted a countdown clock to the Bucks' Week 1 opener against the Saints on Fox. Shannon, do you like it? Love it? Hate it?
It's all right.
It's all right.
Just all right. You actually count down. This is the last one. It was over.
This
is it? Yep.
Well, you predicted that for
It's
4
the
straight
final
years.
countdown. It's the final countdown, Skip Bayless. Look, whatever's going to get Tom Brady motivated, if that's what he wants to do, fine. I'm sure he's not the only guy that does this. I was not one of those guys that circled a day like, man, I can't wait to get back to the season. It was going to happen whenever it was. So, hey, that's him. He's been doing, I think over the last couple of years, Skip, we've seen him become more active on social media, posting a lot of his workouts, posting some of the things that he would normally do. He was a lot more guarded early in his career in New England, and I think this was him taking hold, says, you know what, I want to be more free. I want to share more of my life with my fans, with my followers, and we're starting to see him do that, Skip. So I don't really have a problem with it, but, you know, Saints are counting it down, too. They say, yeah, bruh, we about to get at you. Hang that first L on you, see what it's like. Yeah, because guess what, Skip? Like Dorothy says, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. Yep. This is not the AFC East anymore.
Really?
No.
So, it's my turn.
Yep.
I love this because Tom Brady just took a cliche, the countdown clock, and he turned it into this inspired daily reminder that the clock is ticking down like a Super Bowl time bomb on game 1 at New Orleans against your arch rival within the division.
That ain't no arch rival.
Come on.
That ain't got no rival.
Well, it's going to be.
Atlanta, New Orleans.
It's going to be. You know it, and I know that. It's going to be the 2 games of the year. Tampa at New Orleans at Tampa. Book it.
You go in.
Watch it on Fox.
0 for 2.
Yeah, okay. You do on that?
Put due on it.
I do on it.
Put due on it. 0 for 2.
We've already got like 100 cases.
You're losing
on
both of those games.
Really?
Yes.
I'll take it. Done. How many cases is that?
2.
2 cases. Done. Thank you very much. I needed that. I'm thirsty today. So think about what Tom Brady just did.
What'd he do?
He is creating urgency and energy and expectation and frenzy in Tampa Bay, unlike any that has been experienced there since, 2002, the last time they won the Super Bowl or got to the Super Bowl? Tampa Bay has been an NFL dead zone for these many years and has turned into mostly a franchise laughingstock around the league. And here comes Tom Brady, just as COVID numbers are spiking in Florida. All Tom Brady seems to be worried about is spiking footballs after he scores touchdowns or Gronk scores touchdowns when the football season starts. It's like he's saying, pandemic? What pandemic? Because every day I look and he's posting more pictures. He's out there in the hot Tampa summer sun. He is grinding. He is
Why you got to
sweating.
post that stuff? You don't like when people post that stuff, remember?
He's trying to drum up momentum. He wants that bandwagon to roll right through the AFC South. And he is one player. I still got him in the NFC. It's hard to believe Tom Brady is in the NFC now, right?
Yeah, no more divisions. No more division wins.
Really?
Division titles. You know how you won like 20 division titles? No more of those.
Okay. The GOAT is the one player who has the guts to just invite all this pressure onto his shoulder pads because he knows he can back it up. At age 43, he is saying to you, I got weapons. I didn't have any weapons in New England. I got offensive brain power. I got Bruce Arians.
Oh, so not Josh McDaniels was a bum.
I'm not saying he was a bum, but I don't know if he's Bruce Arians.
Well, how many Super Bowl Bruce Arians quarterback to? One, Big Ben.
What happened to Josh McDaniels when he was the head coach in Denver? Help me out.
He didn't do too much.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you make it seem like Arizona was going to the playoffs every year under Bruce Arians. Let's not get carried away now, Skip Bayless.
Interesting. So, Tom Brady is now the happiest he's ever been in his career because he is out from under that tyrant up in Foxborough.
Oh, he's a tyrant now.
You know what? You just mentioned the Wizard of Oz. Ding dong, the witch is dead. You know what happened? Tom Brady just spilled water all over Bill Belichick, and he's melting. He's melting. Tom Brady has escaped. All of a sudden, he's got weapons, and he's got them out on the practice field every day in the hot summer sun. he's sweating, he's grinding, and he is building relationships with new teammates.
Know what he doing?
Yep.
I love how you do
And
that.
the clock is ticking.
I love how you did that. Now, Coach Belichick was a tyrant. Now, Michael Jordan, he's just trying to get the guys to play so they can win titles. But Coach Belichick's trying to do the same thing, get those guys in position so they can win, but he's a tyrant. You see how you did that? Because you like Michael Jordan, the way he did it, that's what you do. You trying to win. Coach Belichick, you don't like him. He's a tyrant. Last I checked, one guy went to what? How many Super Bowls they went to, Skip? 9.
How many Pro Bowls did Bill Belichick make when he played football? Wait a second. He didn't play football. He played lacrosse at Wesleyan.
And that just goes to show
D3.
you. That just goes to show you the capabilities of that man's mind.
Really?
That he can go and take over a sport that he didn't even play and become the greatest coach to ever coach that in the NFL. How did he do that? You think Coach K? You think Coach K can become the greatest coach in the NFL? Can he become the greatest manager in MLB? But that what Coach Belichick did. Lacrosse guy. He did that.
Because he had the GOAT at quarterback from day one in New England.
And took a 6th-round quarterback and did it.
Yeah.
Took a 6th rounder and did that.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
What happened to Bill Belichick in Cleveland? He was there for 5 years, and he missed the playoffs 4 out of 5 times. And then he came to New England and missed the playoffs again. So that's... That's 5 out of 6 years.
It took him a while. It took him a while, yeah.
Huh, interesting. Yeah. So he was a sub-500 coach until Tom Brady fell out of heaven.
Once he got going.
Yeah.
Once he got him to understand the way, the Patriots way, it was over.
So Tom Brady is posting a countdown clock saying, Drew Brees, Sean Payton, we are coming for you. On opening day, we will be there, and we are counting down the seconds to that clash, that battle.
I'm thinking New Orleans. I'm thinking about New Orleans by double digits, 10, 14. Yeah.
Will you give me 14 right now?
Nope. But that's what's gonna happen. And I'll be coming here on that Monday.
Yeah. Really?
You know what I need to call? I need to get me a Saints. Get me a Saints helmet.
Do you?
Yeah.
I've already ordered my Tampa Tom jersey. Tampa Bay. I got it coming. It's coming.
You know what? I'm gonna go to NFLshop.com. I'm going to get me a helmet.
Really?
Everybody that they play, I'm going to have me.
Okay. It was 3 months ago, I ordered my Brady jersey from NFL.com.
You got it, yeah.
And I got a note saying, we're way out of stock and you're going to have to wait until September.
Well, I know I got to wait till like 4 years to get that my homeboy jersey.
Really?
Because he got the hottest jersey going. Yeah, he got the #1 seller.
I think it's Tampa Bay.
No, I got to wait 4 years.
Did you see those pictures he posted of those weren't photoshopped? That's the best-looking 43-year-old in the land. That's 43 going on 23.
The little baby arms hanging out that jersey.
Really?
How you going to throw the ball with the little baby arms?
They look pretty good to me. He need to do some push-ups. Really?
Yeah, he need to do some push-ups.
Quarterbacks don't really need to. What do you always tell me about quarterbacks? You see them in the locker room. They're all bad bodies.
They're terrible.
Am I right?
They're terrible.
Okay. He's actually got a pretty good body for a quarterback.
No, who told you that?
I test.
You know what, Skip, you're right.
No, you know who told me that? Giselle told me.
You know what? Because people say, Shannon, you shaming Tom Brady. You shaming him. He's shaming me by having me look at that body.
Really?
I'm ashamed. I got to look at.
You love those pictures. You got to admit it.
No, I don't.
Secretly, you love them.
Skip, come on now. You think he looks as good in that jersey, that uniform, as he did New England? Come on now.
I do. Looks better, actually.
Nah, stop it. You know what?
He wears it well.
No, he doesn't.
He's got that look in his eye.
If I didn't know, I don't even look like that.
He's free. He's free, finally.
The best number 12 in Tampa is Brad Johnson. Not that best 12 ever wear the number 12. No, I think Doug was 12. Did Doug wear 12?
I think he did.
I think Doug. Yep. So it's close. It's between Doug and Brad Johnson right now.
Really?
Yep.
Well, Super Bowl, here they come. And that man has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Rob Gronkowski and O.J. Howard?
If they had the
Cameron Brate?
Now, Skip, if they had the original creamsicles, I might be on to something, but I can't get behind those.
Well, you realize that's the Super Bowl jersey of 2002.
Well, too bad he ain't going to be in it. Somebody gonna
Really?
You know what? But he will be. I wonder if Jeter would let him sublease it because he won't be there for the Super Bowl because some other big quarterback. My homeboy going to need that.
Really?
Yeah, my homeboy going to need that St. Petersburg.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I think he looks really good in that. And by the way, he chose Tampa over the Chargers because he realized no team has ever played in a home Super Bowl they've got the Super Bowl in their house.
He didn't want to go in the same division with my homeboy. I don't want to deal with my homeboy, Skip Bayless. If I got a choice, I can live on the prairie or I can live in the lion's den. I'm going on the prairie. I ain't messing with that lion.
He's beaten my homeboy 2 out of 3 times, including the AFC Championship game in my homeboy's home.
What have you done for me lately?
Really?
We went to your place. Went to your place, put our feet up.
Barely.
Did it.
Barely.
Did it.
Yep.
And then y'all could, and we wanted a rematch. Y'all couldn't even give us a rematch because y'all couldn't even get back to see us.
Well, it could be the GOAT versus my homeboy in the coming Super Bowl.
New GOAT. New GOAT.
New GOAT?
New GOAT. Baby GOAT.
Really?
Yeah, that's the baby GOAT.
So 1 Super Bowl is better than 6 out of 9?
See, there you go. There you go. We about to get the back-to-back. Jack.
Really?
Yep.
And wait, that's the same my homeboy who in this past Super Bowl threw an interception late in the 3rd quarter, another one early in the 4th quarter, and got away with a 3rd and 15 punt pass where he just threw it as high as he could throw it.
Your guy.
Tyreek, and he fair caught it.
Your last
got it.
Hold on. Your last Super Bowl, did your guy throw a touchdown?
Oh, he just led the game-winning drive in the 4th quarter.
That's what my guy did. My guy had 3 of those, down by 10 points in his last 3. The greatest playoff run in NFL history. That's what they've been telling me.
The greatest playoff run against the Titans?
Down 10 in every game.
They were playing flag football. They were
Down
reaching
10.
for his flag, and it wasn't there because they weren't playing flag
Tom ever
football.
had a run like that? If Tom Brady ever had a run like that?
Yeah, he had
Still
one.
farm people.
He had one against my homeboy at Foxborough
Bulldoze.
on a Sunday night.
That was like that.
That was a run.
You broke like 4-5 tackles.
That was.
I ran a linebacker that ran 4-5 at the combine.
That was the single worst exhibition of NFL tackling in playoff history. Yes, it was.
You get a man credit.
That was the worst bad ankle, reach for flag sort of tackling that I've ever seen. And I think there it is. Look at this. Oh, nice. That's nice. Oh, did you see what
Drag a deep
did?
Woo,
Oh, nice effort there. Nice effort.
Watch he split him.
He's running at 8 flat 40.
And then drag a D lineman into the end zone.
Wait a second.
Drag.
Tackle him. Somebody tackle. Oh, I'll try. I got his flag. You see 35, he held his flag up.
You ever see Tom Brady hold short? No, we can't do that.
Miss.
Ooh, look at
Bad angle miss.
Look at that.
Bad angle miss.
Gaining momentum.
Tackle him. Grab his flag. I got his flag. Does that mean he's down at the 1 because I pulled his flag off?
Patrick Bolt. You look like Usain Bolt running down the sideline.
Really?
Yeah, Thunderbolt.
That's
what they call him. He ain't lightning bolt.
I
He's
just
Thunderbolt.
stopwatched it, and it took 9 seconds to run.
I tell you what,
30
this
yards.
is what we do know. He faster than Tom Brady. Tom Brady got the slowest 40 time for a quarterback currently in NFL history.
I will
That's
give you
factual.
that. But his feet are not quicker in the pocket than the GOAT's feet.
Yeah, we don't need no feet. Because we can throw the ball. We do that right there. No look. He going to behind the back. That's coming this year.
You know, is it possible that Patrick Mahomes weighs twice as much as Tom Brady now? Is that possible?
He like 6'3", like 240.
I think we're going on 260.
No, he ain't no 260.
I think he's starting to push 260.
I just saw him on IG. He up there with his old boo thing in the Ozarks, looking good.
Really?
Trim.
Really?
Trim in the Ozarks.
He's looking trim.
Yeah, he looking trim in the Ozarks with the shades on. Yeah, he had a little boo thing out there. Yep, getting ready. He told me, he said, Uncle, I'm ready. I said, okay.
Only thing I know about Ozark is I love it when I watch it.
Oh, that's the show. That's the show. Jason Bateman.
Whoa. Laura Linney, they got it.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
I still have nightmares from that show. I think the cartel is coming to get me always. So good.
Darlene Snail,
someone acknowledge Tom Brady's tan in the photo. Can we acknowledge how good he looks? Am I allowed to say
Thank
that?
you. Yes,
No.
you are.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe I took that too far.
No.
Bucks Saints on Fox. I think we need a countdown clock for our show. Shannon, I'll put one in your dressing room as well.
No mercy.
Mark Cuban has changed his stance on his players kneeling during the national anthem, saying players who kneel will now have his full support and that he hopes to participate with them. NBA bylaws say that players must stand for the anthem, but Cuban said that the NBA should give leeway to its players during these changing times. So, Shannon, how will this play out?
Skip, I can see him doing that. Mark Cuban and Steve Ballmer, they have very unique relationship with their players. It's almost like, Skip, they view themselves as players because they sit so close and they're in, I mean, you would think they're fans, not actually owners of a team.
Yep.
The way they're behaving and high-fiving the players and getting so involved. And Mark Cuban and I have not always agreed. he and I traded some barbs over. Well, we had some disagreements over Twitter many years ago during the Trayvon Martin thing, Skip. But I think he's had an awakening where he's starting to see things. He's starting to empathize with the plight of someone that doesn't look like him. And so I think I've seen to listen to him talk now, Skip, I like what I'm hearing. And now you must understand that the bylaws in the NBA, it's written in there, Skip. You must stand for the national anthem. Mm-hmm. So that's going to take, obviously the owners and the players coming to an agreement saying, yes, we will allow this to happen for that to happen. But, Skip, I can see it. I can see an owner like Steve Ballmer. I can see an owner like Mark Cuban. I can absolutely see them kneeling with their players because they have a different type of relationship with their players also, more so than any other NBA owner that I can call off the top of my head.
Okay. So I've also had many disagreements with one Mark Cuban, and allow me to say before I get to my main point, what Cuban said yesterday was a makeup call for what he said in 2017 because he took the exact counter-opposite approach, which is probably why you were having some back-and-forth disagreement because he said back in 2017, this is America and I'm proud of the people who speak out civilly. But he said, I'll be standing with my hand over my heart. I think the players will be too. I expect them to be. That's what he said in 2017. So now he's come full circle to hopefully I will kneel with my players. Okay. This is the huge difference between what has happened in the NBA versus the National Football League. As you well know, all the way back in 2012 in the NBA, the Miami Heat, led by LeBron and Dwayne Wade, posed for a picture in hoodies in support of Trayvon Martin.
Correct.
He was gunned down, as we know, by George Zimmerman. That was 2012. Colin Kaepernick didn't decide to first sit on the bench until the third preseason game of 2016. That's the National Football League mentality he was up against. The NBA has always been so more enlightened, so far more advanced than the NFL. You played in the NFL. You know the mindset, how it grinds on you, how you're just a cog in the system.
Correct.
In the NBA, the players have always been more partners with owners.
Correct.
The stage, the platform has always belonged more to the players than to the Jerry Joneses. Because in the NFL, this is, by God, this is my stage, and I will not allow you to further your cause on my platform.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So in the NBA, they were always free to speak.
Yes.
And there wasn't any compulsion to kneel because they didn't really need to kneel. Colin was kneeling out of desperation in 2016, 4 years after the Trayvon Martin hoodie picture. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's so different for the NBA players to the point, if they want to kneel, I am so with them to kneel. But it's very possible that they'll say, we don't really need to do that. Like we've been effectively kneeling for years and years. We have had the ability to make our points very strongly. LeBron has been the most outspoken and just effective activist in the sport.
You remember when that was right around 2012 when remember CP3, D Wade, Carmelo, and LeBron were on stage and they read that powerful thing
at the ESPYs.
Yeah. So the NBA, their owners and the players, they've always been forward thinking. They was always saying, you know what, we ain't got to keep you in a box. Be you.
Yeah.
But I think that has a lot to do, Skip, with Bill Russell and the summit and the thing. So those guys, and you would think the NFL would be like that because Jim Brown was a part of that, but no, not so much.
Okay.
Maybe the times are changing.
So do you want or do you need NBA players to break the rule and kneel in Orlando?
Well, like I said, Skip, and unless they change the bylaws and said in this bubble, we're going to allow you to do it. But for me, Skip, because of what they're doing, and that's what, and remember, we talked about this, do you think the NBA? I said, no. I said, because the NBA has always allowed them freedom to voice opinions, to voice concerns about things they see in their community. So I think the NBA will lax the rules, especially because this is a special circumstance and situation. I do believe they'll allow them to do it, and I believe the players will do it. But if they didn't, no, I wouldn't be upset because the NBA has been really good with its players on social issues.
They have been. And by the way, in the end, Mark Cuban yesterday deferred to Commissioner Silver, Michelle Roberts, head of the NBA Players Association. Like, I don't know if we can because it is a bylaw. Right now. You would have to waive the bylaw. It would have to be officially stamped as it's okay.
And you notice, Skip, everything worked lockstep and barrel. Okay, this is what we're trying to do. They send that paperwork to Michelle Roberts. She looks over at her staff. It's not like the NFL. The NFL says, okay, y'all can go back in there to the facility. Not even go run that by the NFLPA. Well, y'all going to do that. No, that's not how they work. You see why? Because they don't have any respect. We're going to do what we want to do. And then you accept what we do. You're right. That's why the players in the NBA and the owners in the NBA, they view themselves more of a partner, whereas the NFL view themselves with partners with the networks.
They do.
That's
correct.
The difference.
Owners to networks.
Correct.
Yeah. So do I think NBA players are going to wear T-shirts?
Oh, yeah.
Shirts, patches on, yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if there are Black Lives Matter patches on the jersey.
Absolutely so. But kneeling, it's if that's what they want to do, that's great. And I think they will waive the bylaw. But in the end, they're almost like beyond kneeling. They have been effectively kneeling for a decade.
Yep, I agree. I agree, Skip.
No mercy. After being suspended 5 times by the NFL, Josh Gordon is hoping the league will give him one more chance to play football. Gordon has submitted a letter asking to be reinstated, and according to his lawyer, Gordon was suspended because he relapsed after the death of his brother in November. So, Shannon, in your opinion, should he be reinstated?
Yes, I believe he should, but Colin, I know you don't believe that, what you just read, so I'm going to let you fill in that a little bit later. Skip, I believe he should. I think the thing is now, because the NFL, with the new CBA and the way they look at marijuana, Skip, marijuana does not have the same stigmatism that it had many, many years ago. There are states that you're allowed to buy it in small samples now, so it's not frowned upon. Now, we know Josh Gordon has these demons, and there are certain triggers that can cause these demons to come out. Now, his agent said he was dealing with the passing of his brother, and we understand that. Well, we don't excuse it, but we can understand that that's a very a very tough situation to find yourself in, that all of a sudden the sudden and tragic passing of your brother. And it triggers something in him, and he fell off. But I just hope Josh can just, get some resemblance of his life back. Because, Skip, at the end of the day, he's only going to play football if he were to get reinstated. Only a couple of more years. I like to think Josh Gordon has way more years of an adult life as a human being than he's ever going to spend in the NFL. And I just hope he can get that aspect resolved, and so he can live a nice, fruitful, productive life as a normal citizen, regardless of football. But I'm afraid, Skip, what's going to happen when football is taken away from him? And then Josh really needs to get this, because at some point in time, Skip, people are not going to keep making excuses for Josh. We've made excuse after excuse after excuse. And although this tragic passing of his brother is sad, it's tragic, people are not going to keep making excuses for why you keep finding yourself in this situation. Hopefully, prayerfully, this is the last time he finds himself in a very similar predicament.
Shannon, what has happened to Josh Gordon when football wasn't taken away from him? Nothing great. He's been given 20-second chances. If you look at his history of drug issues, it's so staggering that, to me, I've been around Josh. I like him a lot. He has so much potential as a man and a player, unrealized potential, that I always root for him to a fault, because at some point you have to just say no to Josh Gordon and quit enabling him to be recaptured by his demons. You just keep saying, okay, you're okay. We'll bring you back. And we'll bring you back, and we'll bring you back. I want you to think about what this still young man has gone through. In many interviews that he's given, he said his drug issues started in middle school, and that was Xanax, codeine, OxyContin. I'm not talking about smoking a little pot. We're getting into some hard drug areas, okay? And he got expelled from middle school twice. And then he goes to high school, And it's one issue after another with drugs to where he finally gets expelled again. Then he gets busted, arrested for credit card fraud and abuse. And he was on probation in the state of Texas when he was being recruited by everybody because
it's a phenomenal talent.
It's a phenomenal talent. And he had to choose a school within the state of Texas because his probation limited him to operating only in the state of Texas. So he goes to Baylor, and what happened? Nothing good happened. It was one drug suspension after another. Some of it was just pot related. Then he actually got busted, as he's talked about, at Baylor for selling pot. Okay, and then they finally just kick him out. As much talent as he displayed, Art Briles just said, that's enough, you're gone. Mm-hmm. And he signs with Utah, and he goes to Utah, and he said in a fairly recent interview, that's where he discovered cocaine, started using cocaine, failed a drug test at Utah, and never played it down in Salt Lake City. Okay? And then he goes in the supplemental draft to the Cleveland Browns, and what's that?
Flunked those tests too.
And he flunked, and he just keeps flunking drug tests. So now he's been suspended 7 times in the National Football League. And after a while, as much as I like the young man, as much as I root for him, I say, well, when do you finally say that's just enough?
Well, Skip, you have to fail several drug tests before you actually get suspended. So he failed more drug tests than he's actually been suspended because at first they put you in the program, second they take game checks, then they actually suspend you. So you have to have 3 tests actually before you get suspended. Skip, and the thing is that I think, one of our former colleagues, CC Chris Carter, and said, Josh, you need to get help. And he lashed out, wrote this lengthy, I don't have a problem. He was denying it, Skip. And I guess he was embarrassed because here's a guy that had an opportunity for generational wealth. Mm-hmm. Skip, that's the term that you hear a lot of, generational wealth. Mm-hmm. This dude he was Julio Jones before Julio.
He was.
That's what he could have been. And I don't know if people realize how good Josh Gordon was, but he threw it away.
What is he, like 6'3"?
6'3", 230. Run 4'4". And you see the way he's built? And people like, well, Shannon, let him smoke a little bud. Yeah, if you smoke all the bud you want, but not at the expense of $70, $80 million, who would give that up? If you would give up $80 million to smoke weed, you are a fool.
Unless you just got such problems that you have never had to address.
Yes, exactly. Because like you said, Skip, the NFL does keep enabling him.
Yeah.
They bring him back. He got kicked out of Baylor, and Utah said, well, hey, he'll change. There ain't no drugs out here in Utah. We're a dry state, Skip, so we good out here. And somehow, supply and demand. He found it. And he has these issues that I don't know if Josh has really sat down and come to grips with how big. Skip, this is an ongoing problem. He's never going to live a day in which he doesn't have to beat these demons. Because, Skip, you can drive by the bar, you can drive by your homeboy house 50,000 times. But it's that 50,000 the first time that you go in.
I agree.
That it gets its hooks in you and brings you real joy. And all the hard work, the 5 years, the 10 years that you've been dry, that you've been sober, all of a sudden comes crashing down. Skip, I just hope he can just get this resolved so he can have a normal life.
Yep.
That's what I really want most.
I believe this is a disease.
Oh, of course.
That he has fought his entire life from middle school on and never defeated because nobody ever forced him to come to complete grips with it.
It's an incurable disease.
Yep.
But it can be treated.
It can be.
And that's the thing. Okay, in the treatment process, because Skip, here's the thing, you get cancer, you have to change the way you eat. You have to change the way you do certain things.
Yep.
So you get this disease. Okay, we can't cure it, but we can treat it. But you're gonna have to change certain behaviors to make sure you ensure yourself that you're not at risk, or you minimize the risk that you're in.
Yeah.
Man, I just
for the record, it's been 5 summers ago during one of his suspensions that Josh lived out here in Los Angeles and West Hollywood with Johnny Manziel for a whole summer in an apartment they shared.
Right.
And trust me, I heard all the stories, and they weren't just smoking pot, just for the record.
Nah.
This goes way deeper than just that.
Yeah, that pot, lead to other things. And I just hope he can just get it. It's sad, but we've seen far too many of these stories, Skip. Skip, we've seen too many stories that great players, athletes, it doesn't matter what. I mean, it doesn't have to be, Skip, we've seen entertainers. We've seen, musicians and artists. Man, that thing get his hands in you, man, and ooh.
Yep.
And he just, it's got to be day by day, bro.
Okay. So if you give him a 20th chance, second chance, you know what's going to happen. It'll happen again.
I'm not confident, Skip. I'm not confident he's going to do the right thing.
Yeah, even though now the new CBS says you can get away with a lot more just smoking pot. Right. Okay.
I just wish him the best, bro. I just hope he gets his life in order, Skip.
Yep.
Not about football. It's about life after football. Because what's Josh, in his early 30s?
Yep.
Young. Our show, we've always rooted for him, but we want him to be happy and well, and that is what we have to think about. That is it for Undisputed. Happy Juneteenth to everyone. Have a good weekend, guys.